theory agree. The theory holds that out of absolute nothingness there occurred a tremendous blast from which the entire universe suddenly came into existence.
Correct.
That is, out of nothing, or ex nihilo, the universe appeared, just as Imam al-Ghazali argued against the philosophers many centuries ago in his famous work, The Incoherence of the Philosophers, Tahafut al-Falasifa. Imam al-Ghazali in his work glorified the divine will, proving the correctness of Imam Ash'ari's creed, Aqidah, which advanced against the Mu'tazilites and the philosophers the true doctrine of Ithbat as-Sifat, of affirmation of Allah's attributes. Al-Ghazali thus maintained that the universe began only at the exact moment when Allah willed for it to come into being, as He the Exalted said, إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا أَن يَقُولُوا لَهُ كُن فَيَكُونُ. Moreover, He the Exalted describes Himself as فَعَلٌ لِمَا يُرِيدُ, the doer of what He wills. Surah Al-Buruj. Allah did not pick out a world from non-existence, maduma, to create as the Mu'tazilites claimed, nor did the universe exist from eternity without beginning. For there was no other world before the one He created. For He created the universe ex nihilo and at a definite temporal instant. So out of nothing, the universe began its rapid expansion, an expansion that continued for billions of years, forming in its wake countless stars, galaxies, and galaxy clusters. Some of these we are able to observe today by means of high-powered telescopes. Up until the present moment, there has been no effective disconfirmation of the Big Bang hypothesis. At the same time, it offers an explanation of many of the phenomena we observe in the universe. وَالسَّمَاءَ بَنَيْنَاهَا بِأَيْدٍ وَإِنَّا لَمُوسِعُونَ. With power and skill did we construct the firmament, for it is we who create the vastness of space. This verse describes. No, I'm missing an S. Describes how the Lord built up the heavens with our hands. Hands here refers to Allah's power. The verse continues, we are able to keep expanding it. Physicists found vast gatherings of galaxies, each filled with hundreds of millions of stars, expanding outward from a point in space. The location of the Big Bang. Physicists and space scientists are stunned when they read that verse of Quran. Today, according to today's science, if an explosion takes place in a vacuum, i.e. within an environment where there is absolutely no external source of gravity, the exploding object will shatter, and the particles of the object will be flung apart with an equal force on every particle, thrusting it away from the core of the explosion. The explosion has a center point, its center of mass. The strongest force of the explosion affects this center. As particles move away from the center, the intensity of the force decreases until the particles no longer have a driving force accelerating them. Thus, the center core of that explosion is the place where the most powerful interactions occur. That center is in a real sense continuously exploding, just as we see in an atomic reaction. The central core is the continuous source of explosive energy that causes the atoms there to maintain a continuous chain reaction. That chain reaction should continue propagating at the expanding edge of the universe with no end. The Big Bang, in fact, should continue reducing in power with time, should not cease. Now, empirical observation shows us that the Big Bang occurred, but it did not go on indefinitely. On the face of it, this is puzzling. For the elementary rules of physics hold that an object in motion will continue to remain in motion until acted upon by another opposing force. The laws of physics are not to be applied or ignored arbitrarily. Thus it is implicit in the sudden explosive creation of the universe and our observation of ordered planets and galaxies that there must have been some force halting the initial immense expansion and putting it into an ordered state. If there was no opposing force, all the parts of the universe, including all atoms of planet Earth, would keep expanding and separating in an infinite continuation of that initial reaction. Still the question remains, what triggered the Big Bang explosion?
This is here, as I told you, that it's still expanding, that some of it stopped at a certain times. The expansion is continuous because creation is continuous. Yes.
Still the question remains, what triggered the Big Bang explosion? From where did the tremendous mass of the universe come? One premise required by the Big Bang theory is that conditions and materials were in fact in place for the Big Bang to occur before it exploded. Yet this premise seems to be accepted on faith. Science does not explain it. But we must ask, how could these trillions and trillions, countless particles all be in one place to start with? Does this not require energy to put all this matter into a single super dense place? Did all this simply happen? What tipped everything over into an explosive state? How did this tremendous mass come into existence, and what force acted on it to set off the explosion? How did order emerge from these innumerable particles scattered around the universe? Let us go back to the verse of the Quran quoted earlier, where Allah says, "Verily, He wills the thing, His command is be, and it is, kun fayakun." In Arabic, the word for the imperative be is kun, and for it is yakun. Kun is spelled kaf, noon. It is said, وَأَمْرُهُ بَيْنَ الْكَافِ وَالنُّونِ. Allah's order for something to be is between the kaf and the noon. Kun, be, Allah's order of creation takes place within these two letters, kaf and noon. Nothing may happen without Allah's power. So the creation, nothing without Allah's power. So the creation of the Big Bang came between Kaf and Noon. In between the Kaf was the driving force outward from the explosion, and the letter Noon is the driving force inward. Noon symbolizes the Arabic word nihaya, which means the end. And this caused that explosive shattering action to stop precisely where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted it to stop. At the right moment.
Why nihaya? Because the alphabet is Nun, He, Waw, Ye. Nun, He, Waw turns into Alif. Because when you put it in a sentence, the Waw sometimes is turned into an Alif. So, so the last of the
at the right moment, at the right time, at the right space, at the exact place until today, every smallest particle and largest galaxy is held in its assigned location.
I put some explanation in my hand.
Here, and opposing. No. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. And we sent thee not but as a mercy for all creatures. We have sent you, O Prophet, as a mercy to humanity, or the world. Allah said, we have sent you as a mercy to humankind, لِلْعَالَمِينَ. There are two meanings for the Arabic alameen. Alameen can refer to humankind and jinn, and it could also mean everyone and everything. Everything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created is included in Alameen. As Allah said in the opening of the Quran, Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praises for Allah, Lord of the worlds. Alameen, showing Allah is the Lord of everything. The Prophet, as a mercy to the world, Alameen, is correspondingly sent as a mercy to everything of Allah's creation. Anything and everything that is other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a recipient of the Prophet's mercy and blessings. When one of the Prophet's companions, Jabir, asked him what Allah created first, he said, "O Jabir, before Allah created anything, He created the light of your Prophet from His light." It is related that Jabir ibn Abdullah said to the Prophet, "O Messenger of Allah, may my father and mother be sacrificed for you. Tell me of the first thing Allah created before all things." He said, "O Jabir, the first thing Allah created was the light of your Prophet from His light. And that light remained, literally turned, in the midst of His power for as long as He wished. And there was not at that time a tablet, or a pen, or a paradise, or a fire, or an angel, or a heaven, or an earth."
It's turned in His
power. Turned in His power. Turned in the midst of His power.
Midst of His power. In Arabic it says, Al-Qudra means Allah's
control.
Bahr al-Qudra means the source of everything comes out from that ocean. That's what we call ocean of power. So in English it means the same. Midst of His power. Midst of what?
There may be a better word, but it takes some thinking. Yeah. And when Allah wished to create creation, He divided that light into 4 parts. And from the first made the pen, from the second the tablet, from the third the throne, and from the fourth everything else. The Prophet ﷺ told Jabir, "O Jabir, the first thing that Allah created is the light of your Prophet." If we heed what modern physics is teaching us, that light is the source of the great Big Bang, physicists say that has to be another end of a sentence.
Creeping!
Okay. Physicists say that before that event there was nothing. Then Allah said, "Kun, be," and it was, fayakun. Physicists do not say that. They say there was nothing in existence. Then that Big Bang took place. A huge explosion of energy or light. When the Prophet ﷺ says, "The first thing that Allah created is my light," it means I am the essence of all creation, and whatever Allah has created comes from my light. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favored everyone by creating them from the light of the Prophet ﷺ. This follows from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, "We have sent you, O Prophet, as a mercy to humanity, or the world. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ." If the essence of all creation comes from the divine light, then all existence is the result of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, this follows as a matter of logical necessity, because there is no Rahman except there exists also a Marhum, something which receives mercy. In short, nothing that exists escapes being an object of divine mercy. Mercy is the ocean in which all creation swims. That is why scholars and awliya say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created 9 parts of creation out of 10 from the light of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The remaining 10th He created from Bahr al-Qudra, the ocean of power. Bahr al-Qudra is from the essence. No one knows the reality of this, not even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This of course is the meaning of Allahu wahdahu la sharika lah. Allah is one with no partner. And laysa kamithlihi shay'un. And subhanallahi amma yasifun, where Allah names the divine essence. Allah shared His knowledge, or and it says
Allah showed His knowledge before some of it. I would correct that.
It would be revealed or something.
Yeah, revealed. Not shared. Cannot say shared.
Reveal some of His knowledge. Allah revealed the knowledge of His attributes, names and acts to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But knowledge of His absolute essence, He showed to no one. Thus He says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ وَهُوَ سَمِعٌ بَصِيرٌ, asserting the unknowability of His essence, but at the same time affirms His attributes, the knowledge of Himself, which He in His bounty does share with humankind through the agency of His Prophet. You said, okay, so does, you can't say does inform humankind, does bestow upon.
No, not inform. Inform.
Yeah, but you have to change the grammar then. You can't say inform with mankind. So if you work on this, I'll put a... To delve into the spiritual understanding of the core of the Big Bang is to penetrate something of the Mohammedan reality. His order, Amruhu, is between the letters Kaf and Nun. That Big Bang is what Allah brought into existence when He issued the order Kun, or be, to the light of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As He uttered Kun, that letter Kaf came forth. That source of all appearances materialized within that incredible explosion. When He said Nun, another driving force stopped everything in its place. That is, everything took up the position where they stand in the universe today. The expansion of the universe stopped in its tracks. In issuing the command Kun, Allah was giving form to that sound. The very vibrations of air constituting the Prophet ﷺ. It is divine speech emanating from the essence to existence or reality. Existence in turn has been formed from the very reality that instantiates physical being. If you say the very vibrations of air, if there was no air, you mean to say air or space?
Space.
The creation of the Mohammedan reality took place before the creation of the angels, and the reality of that event is something that remains in Allah's knowledge. Yet at that station of reality, all prophets took up their inheritance. For according to the hadith transmitted by the authority of Ibn Abbas, the Mohammedan reality goes from prophet to prophet, min nabiyyun ila nabiyyin. Min nabiyyin ila nabiyyin, until the moment when Allah causes it to emerge. Akhraja, as the historical Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. See Ibn Sa'ad Tabaqat. However, that Allah created and gave to Prophet at that time. However, what Allah created and gave to the Prophet at that time no one knows. He said, Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth. Allahu nuru samawati wal ard. The similitude of his light is a niche wherein is a lamp. The lamp is in a glass. The glass is as it were a shining star. This lamp is kindled from a blessed tree, an olive neither of the east nor of the west, whose oil would almost glow forth of itself, though no fire touched it. Light upon light, Allah guideth unto his light whom he will, and Allah speaketh to mankind in allegories, for Allah is the knower of all things. Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth, means he is the creator of everything other than himself. Whatever is other than Allah is called ma siwa Allah. Allah created everything, the pen, heavens, earth, paradise, angels, universes, galaxies, everything. And Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth, and the similitude to his light. Allah is giving an example for us to understand. مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ is like a bundle. Like garlic comes in bundles. These bundles, Allah is giving us an example for us to understand. مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ. The example of that light is like a bundle. Mishkat refers to a thing like a bundle, similar to the bundles of garlic tied all together. And in that bundle there is a misbah. Misbah comes from sabah, or subh, which means the lamp. Allah said to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, Alaysa as-subhu biqarib. Is not the light of dawn near? Misbah means when the instrument that proceeds the light well, it doesn't. Misbah means when the instrument that proceeds the light, and that's the sentence. So it should be misbah means the instrument that produced the light. مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ means the example of his light is like a bundle inside which is an instrument which produces light. True scholars and awliya say this verse refers to the Prophet ﷺ. Ali al-Qari said in his Shahr al-Shifa, in commenting upon the Prophet's title as a lamp spreading light, Muhammad ﷺ is a tremendous light and the source of all lights. He is also a book that gathers up and makes clear all the secrets. Sirajan Muniran means a luminous sun, because of his saying, He hath placed therein a great lamp, and a moon giving light. There is in that verse an indication that the sun is the highest of material lights, and that other lights are outpourings from it. Similarly, the Prophet ﷺ is the highest of the spiritual lights, and other lights are derived from him by virtue of his mediating connection and pivotal rank in the overall sphere of creation. There is also inferred from the tradition, the first thing Allah created is my light. Allah is giving an example of his light, not of his essence. Allah here is not describing himself, for nothing can describe his essence. Rather, he is describing one of his attributes, an-Nur, a name that reveals his light. This is the light of the Big Bang, the source of the light of the heavens and the earth compared to a light bundle, an instrument that gives light, and that light is the Prophet. The light of the Big Bang, do you want to keep Big Bang in capitals? Everywhere else you have capitals, here it's not. Do you want to keep it? The light of the Big Bang is Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. مَثَلُ نُورِهِ كَمِشْكَاتٍ فِيهَا مِصْبَاحٌ الْمِصْبَاحُ فِي الزُّجَاجَةِ. That light is in a zujaja, a form of glass. Is in a zujaja, a form of glass. الزُّجَاجَةُ كَأَنَّهُ كَوْكَبٌ دُرِّيٌّ. That is not an ordinary glass. Rather, it is like a star from ad-dur, a very expensive gem, or lu'lu, pearls of the, or lu'lu, pearls, or lu'lu, comma, pearls, period. It is a type of pearl. This is to bring out the greatness of that light. He said, Al-Misbahu fi Zujaja, the lamp is like a kawkabun durri, a shining star. It means that the light within has not yet emerged. Still, that reality of the Prophet ﷺ, that haqiqat al-Muhammadiyya, illumined pearl like a veritable constellation glowing, as if it were a shining star. كَنَّهَا كَوْكَبٌ دُرِّيٌّ. That light remains inside. That light of the Prophet ﷺ is the light of Muhammadun Rasulullah. That is haqiqat al-Muhammadiyya, a Muhammadan reality, whose internal character signifies that it reflects the heart of the essence, since the Prophet's heart moves without restriction in the orbit of the 99 names and attributes. He has been blessed by the 99 names, inside of which is a glowing pearl not yet come forth. So the Muhammadan reality has never appeared. It is still hidden. It is not emerging. But what is manifested in this life is Muhammadun Rasulullah.
For the second page, I wrote here that an opposing force in place, right? Because we said it at one time, this expansion will stop. The expansion doesn't stop, it keeps continuing. But in every continuity that's going, and at certain time, some of these shattered particles will be stopped, so they become fixed by that driving force of the Nur. But the rest continue, because Allah is a continuously creating creation through that explosion, so that it also continue to ever. And then I change in the Arabic here said that قال يا جابر إن الله تعالى خلق قبل الأشياء نور نبيك من نوره. Allah created His light, the light of your Prophet from His. Let's see. Oh Jabir, the first thing Allah created was the light of your Prophet from His light, and that light remained lit, turned, in the midst of His power. And you can see here, ocean of power, بحر القدرة, for as long as He wished. حيث شاء الله. حيث شاء Allah means as much as He wanted. So what I added here, Allah made that light yadur, He said, turned, lit, turned. What's turned? Lit, turned.
Literally.
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 Turned. Means He is turning. Like, I said, like we now circumambulate around Kaaba, we are turning around Kaaba. So that light was turning around the essence of the ocean of power. Like also electron turn around the neutron or the mass of the nucleus of the atom. So as that light was turning, And you know, when something turns, creates energy. Is that? When you have these hydraulic power plants, they turn turbine or anything, turbine, so it creates energy. So when that light of Prophet was turning in that ocean of energy, it's accumulating more energy and more energy and more energy. Like, and as it is accumulating that at one period of time, that accumulation becomes so intense, so huge, that going to explode, and that was the Big Bang. That light from its accumulation of energy from Bahr al-Qudra expanded so much that cannot anymore be able to contain. Allah ordered it now with that force of expansion to explode, and through that the whole theory of Big Bang came out. And that the hadith is indicating that. So what do I say? So that light was overpowered, it exploded in expansion, and that expansion continued of that light, and that's why he became the center of creation. And that's why he became the center of creation. It doesn't mean that he is a creator. No, hasha, Allah is the creator, but Allah created him and created his light, and from his light created that explosion, that through that explosion everything came. So everything came through the intermediary or agency, I said before, of Prophet ﷺ. For that, Allah, to inform a human being about that, he said, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadan Rasulullah. So Muhammadan Rasulullah symbolized the whole creation. And La ilaha illallah symbolized the creator. And that's why between La ilaha illallah, so La ilaha illallah is the kaf, Muhammadan Rasulullah is the noon. And Allah's order between kaf and noon. That showed everything, that it is beyond even Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The order or the real creation is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What Allah created, Allah made it to expand in the way He liked. And that's why Prophet's light is in everything. And that's why he said, I will add this here, وَعَلَمُوا أَنَّ فِيكُمْ رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. You must know that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is within you, in you. And you can pull the verse of that of the ayah and explain it more. So he is within you. Allah gave him that authority. May Allah forgive us.